Hello, everybody. Yay. It's so great to be back. Sissy, Unci, Auntie, so happy to see you. Hello. Skuktosh, Aninap Chukik, Jennifer Varenchek. Hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer Varenchek. I am from the Tohono Nation. So glad to have you all with us here for another live stream of Sissy, Unci, Aunties. Let me bring our other auntie on that's with us today, Avril Cordova. She's behind the scenes. She's the wonderful person that put that pre-show together. If you don't have a chance, please go back and watch it. There's so much good information about what's happening in Indian country. So say hello, Avril. Can you hear me?
Yes, my Tama is Joseph Conquilla Cordova. My Claw is Patricia Cole Cordova. I'm 6th generation from Chief Red Cloud. I'm the owner-operator of AC and Associates. I'm a mother, daughter, community member, grandmother. I'm a co-host, and I'm so thankful and honored to be here. It's December, and it's another Sissy, Unci, and Aunties, and we're so thankful that you're here watching on Facebook, Instagram, Live, YouTube, LinkedIn. Thanks all for being here. We have a great lineup for you. So, Jen, I'm going to kick it back to you.
Yeah, we're going to start as we always do. If you are new here, we will tell you one of the things that's very important to both Avril and I and the SUA crew, Sissy, Unci, Aunties, as well as just in general to a lot of Native Americans, is start in a good way. So we start with some sage, which I have here, and we're going to do a quick blessing for our live stream here out to you. All right. Everyone, let's take a nice deep breath in. And let's exhale. And those shoulders drop. Let's take a moment to center ourselves. Creator, thank you so much for allowing us to have this virtual space where we can all come together. And for this opportunity, Creator, we ask at this time that you continue to bless us as individuals and as a collective, all of our tribes, all of our families, all of our communities, all of our friends. Please keep them safe, warm, and comfortable during this season, and continue blessings for all the things that you know that we have in our hearts, all those desires, those wishes, those dreams, those goals. Please help us to nurture them and to let them unfold in the most natural way. And again, we're just so grateful. Thank you, Creator. Aho. Amen. All right. And we're back. Okay. That was great. That was a good one. Always good to have a nice prayer. You're welcome. I'm going to pass it to you now, Avril, for the next part.
Yes. So another thing that we like to do is just say where we are checking in from. So for myself, I'm checking in from or streaming in from the Snow Mountain Paiute area. Um, it's a place where I'm sure all of you have heard. Um, it is Las Vegas, Nevada. In Indian country, we as Indian people might know areas like Los Angeles as Tongva territory, or here in Vegas as the Paiute area, or where I'm closest to is the Snow Mountain Paiute area. And you might know them in the colonized names of Los Angeles or Las Vegas. And we just want to make sure that we are recognizing those tribal nations that have always been there in time immemorial before the United States was the United States. So if you don't know what nation you're repping or that you're a visitor on, please feel free to check out the website, which is being shown, native-land.ca, to find out what lands you are on. So thank you all for allowing us to let you know about that if you haven't. If you know, now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. So we'll go ahead and move on to our next portion.
Awesome.
Which we always start out with a question. So the question for this week is, what does rest or renewal look like for you during this season? So I'll go ahead and turn it to Jen so she can answer that question.
Yeah, this season, not just like holiday season, but just this season in my life is very, very difficult. So rest and renewal for me is just looking like unplugging and going to bed. Maybe watching some movies. We've been watching a lot of movies lately, as well as I've been giving in, and I say giving in, I don't think that's the right word but when I have a craving for a particular type of food, we get it or I order it. And it's a good time right now for me to pamper myself in that manner. Doing extra things, like I just literally sent out Christmas cards today, and I didn't write a note, I didn't sign them, I literally just printed the card, put it in, and put it in the mail. And that's all I can do. We're not even putting up a Christmas tree this year. Like, it's too much right now. And for those of you that really know what's happening in my life, you'll understand, and I can maybe talk about that later. But right now, basically, it's like just doing the bare minimum is really good for me right now, and I'm totally okay with that. And I'm also very grateful that I have friends like you, April, in my life that are able to understand and know that, like, you don't have to do everything all the time, which I think is what I used to do. So that's what's happening for me. How about you, April?
So I'm in a similar scenario. Not everything's the same, but this time of year is, I know, working in mental health, that it's a high time when there's a lot of individuals that have depression. And I'm going to be honest with all of you, because I want to be honest with you. People were asking me, like, my sister, and you'll meet her in a little bit, Dawn, was asking, how are we taking care of ourselves? And one of the things that looks like for me is I've recently been in therapy, and that's for grief. And I have been doing that, or been able to go to a therapist and talk about my personal things. But one of the things that I've been doing is like resting and not feeling bad about it. Sleeping. I love to sleep. If anybody knows me, I love to sleep. And being able to not feel bad about not waking up at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning. My sleep pattern is my sleep pattern, and that doesn't have to reflect anybody else's. I know some people are up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning running, and doing all that they do. But for me, what that looks like is sleeping and taking care of myself. And my daughter says your body needed it, because I could sleep like at 5 o'clock and wake up at 9 o'clock the next morning, and she and the family will just know when my door's closed. It's like my door's closed. And that's my own time. And I used to feel bad about it. Like I should be getting up, I should be cleaning, I should be doing this. But nowadays and this time, um, it's not, it's okay if I don't do that. I mean, I could take some time just for me to reflect. And I'm always about prayer. So rest and renewal looks like prayer for me, for sleep. I do need to up my hydration, water, or water intake. So that's something that I've put on myself. But I did want to, in the comments, ask chat, what does rest and renewal look like for you during the season? And I wanted to share somebody's, comment. It says, same here, just getting through each day. At least one extra chore is enough for me. Holidays are hard, especially during the time of grief, but I have been taking care of myself and resting too. So thanks, chat. Thanks, Dan, for speaking that out, and not being afraid to do just one chore. It's one thing off your list.
Agreed. Totally agree. If I can just do one thing, I'm very like today, that was our big event, was going to the post office to drop off the Christmas cards. And I just it was like a lot just to do that, which normally in my past, very quick, very, very simple, very easy, one thing, check off my list. This is like the whole thing. So I get it. And we should all like normalize being able to just kick back and not have to like put all this pressure on ourselves. Gifts, buying, that's difficult too. Decorating, you got to have all the lights and like all these things that we put pressure on ourselves. Like it is okay, and it's fine, and it feels better when I have people like Avril or even my mom who was like, don't put up a tree, who cares, like why do you have to do it? And I'm like, because my mom and I are both very big Christmas decorators. Like I have a huge collection, but this year it's just not happening, and that's okay.
Mm. Well, thank you for sharing, Jen, and being honest about, where you are and how you're reflecting and relaxing or resting. And it is okay just to not do what you normally do, because, people tend to always focus on everybody else but themselves. We have Kara, that says that she tends to focus on the kids. They help her feel centered. And, children are a big part of growing inspiration. Um, and sometimes, you're always doing for them and not doing for yourself. So I would also, they bring big blessings, but I also know that sometimes we also need to just like step back from our children as well. And if you can, for me, like my grandkids are it for me right now. But sometimes I'm all like, go ask your mom or dad, or I just close my door and nobody asks me anything. But this thank you all for answering, for letting us know how you're taking care of yourself. We have a great show today. It's the end of the year, and it's going to be winter solstice soon. And that's a time when a lot of us tend to share stories or are inside more, are drinking that Navajo teas for those Dene people, or, just drinking different types of teas or soups, it's soup season.
Champorado.
Champorado, yeah.
Inside joke, everybody. Sorry.
Champorado is also yummy. Let us know in the chat what you guys do. But we have a great show. So it's the end of the year. So a lot of times at the end of the year, we tend to look back on what we've been doing, and this session or this series or this show today is Auntie and Uncle Review. We sent out a email to a lot of the guests that we have had on, and we have some great individuals here today. So I'm gonna introduce our first individual and have her come on and let us know um, how she's doing and what she's been up to. So we have a great lineup for y'all. So I'm going to introduce one of my favorite individuals, one of my favorite sisters, somebody that inspires me, somebody that's just always has something heartwarming to say to me that lifts me up whenever I need. And she's my return to heart sister, the one and only Auntie Dawn Manuelita.
Hello, hello. Dagot si Don Manuelito Conce. Yat my name is Dawn Manuelito. I am the CEO and founder of Manuelito Health and Wellness Systems that offer healthy wellness products along with a whole plethora of, we do a lot, right? And a lot is coming up. Ladies, it is so good to see you again. My sisters, I'm so happy and excited to talk and connect, right? Because I think we as Native aunties and sissies and, we just kind of talk and we can just go on forever, right? Anybody? So it's been great, this past whole season. And thank you both for sharing your journey a little bit. And a lot of times, what do we say when someone says, "How are you doing?" What do we say? "I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm doing all right," because we got this, right? We're good, we're strong, we're resilient, we're all that. And everything you ladies said about, really looking at things and being honest with ourselves. Are we really doing okay? This is a time of season, Jen. You said, the stress about putting up, trees and lights and all the stuff, and then the shopping, and then the traffic. Okay, let me just say traffic on that one. You ladies are just amazing. You might think that I inspire and support and love you all. You all do that for me. I can't do what I do without you ladies and everybody. My Native Indigenous people, you are just all blessings to me. And that's why I asked you guys that important question. What are you doing to take care of yourself? And when I read what this was going to be about, rest and renew, I was like, oh, you guys weren't just asking everybody. It was like talking to me. I need to step back because I've had a lot going on. And right now, with mental health awareness at its all-time high, especially for Indian country and Native and Indigenous peoples, like, think about that. How many times do we just kind of sit in the back burner, right? Our brain is going 24/7. How can I get this going? How can I get that done? And kids and grandkids and nieces and nephews, mom, grandma, Che, Sonny, all of it. Where do we put ourselves? We run ourselves down, right? My mom's always saying that to me. She's like, you need to slow down. You're going to run yourself down. You're going to wear yourself out, and I really more recently have taken that to light and have been more about my own boundaries, not boundaries just for others, but my own. Realizing, going on this self-care journey, it's been a while for me. I've been going into 13 years remission, cancer-free, so thank you. That's what opened my eyes initially to how well are we taking care of ourselves. The bigger vision was when we go to our communities, and I looked around at a funeral and I seen a lot of our people, young and older, sick, walkers, wheelchairs, oxygen things. And that really inspired me to do what I need to do to help our people. So teaching gut health, healthy living from the inside out, the 6 pillars of wellness, which are spiritual, mental, Emotional. How are we regulating our emotions? Are they being regulated for us, right? Our mental thoughts, are we reacting or responding? All these things, right? And then we go into the physical aspect of health, the nutritional aspect of health, the financial aspect of health. How many of us are all financially like stressed right now? Right? I'll say that right now. I am financially stressed. I am mentally stressed. I am emotionally stressed. Let me just cover the whole wellness wheel. And my sister, she's gonna laugh at me because I'm gonna call her out on this. I am physically stressed. She's got me signed up for a half marathon, followed up with a 10K. I'm like, really? Really? So, oh, yep, I got hands up over here. If that's you, just let's all one moment, just right now, take a deep breath in again, Jen. I love that. In November, I was honored and blessed to be able to be invited out to a retreat. And we got to attend and participate as well as facilitate. And that retreat was so beautiful. It was for business entrepreneur women by Native Women Lead. And they asked me to come out. It was an honor to be out there and to teach what I teach. But that really helped me reset my space. And my word, I usually pick a word every year for the year. And I used to start off on January 1st, right? But I decided I'm going to start with my birth date. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Sagittarius. Happy birthday out there, okay? You know how we Sagittarius are. We're loud, we're bold, we're fire signs, we do all the stuff, right? But then we go seclusion too. So, but, I start with that day because that's the first day of my breath of life. So in honor of that, I started to choose a word every year. What was the path I wanted to follow that year? This past year, it was applying the lessons that I'm learning along the way as I go. And what have I learned? So this year's word is going to be foundation. What is my foundation that I can really build on this year? And it's crazy. I've heard more people use that word foundation in the past since December 5th till now. I'm like, what? So, when we manifest it, we put it out there like our ancestors, pray for it, say it, speak it. And we talk about that. And a lot of times because we're in the stuff, we're in the mud, we're in the, it's hurtful. It's a lot. It's stressful. It's, we've gone through our grieving season. I lost my stepfather earlier this summer. And helping my mom go through that process and family, it's been a lot throughout this time, but also taking that and turning it into a foundation. What did I learn from it? How can I move forward? Sometimes there's no one around to like, okay, hey, I got to push myself up. I got to pick myself up. I always like that one t-shirt. It says, tie your hair up like Arcia, and then let's go. And we run out to the east in the morning, right? So these are the things that we're teaching. And now we're in our winter season. And this time frame for us as Native Indigenous people, I remember our grandparents teaching about this is the time where things are asleep. It's time to rest. It's time to renew in our cocoons, right? We're in there and we're protected and we're protecting ourselves. And the biggest protection is our heart and our mind. Protecting our hearts, protecting our minds, and what we gather there so we can share with the world. I didn't understand that until more recent years of how much energy it takes, and we need each other to help each other. Mental health, again, it's really hard for everybody to see somebody and be like, oh, I can see what they're going through. Instead, we're reacting to our own emotions of what we're going through, right? And I had to think about that. I was like, man, there's sometimes I'm just take it for granted that, I'm the only one going through life, okay? So, but I'm not. And I just have to be mindful of that because sometimes, especially during this season, holiday season, the stress, I look at the cashiers, the waitresses, people of service, the people that clean the bathrooms, the people that do all the stuff. And I think about it, I'm like, they have families. They might have parents. They might have grandparents that they're taking care of. Are they taking care of themselves?
Mm.
Again, are you all taking care of yourselves? I just got through running in October. Well, I just got through running the Marine Corps Marathon. So that was one of my big, huge accomplishments. So adding to the collection, we have this baby here. This is the new
Yay.
one. And this actually helps me. I never really was a runner, but I chose in honor of my grandfather, Navajo code talker, James Charlie Manuelito Sr. I chose to run this in honor of him and all of our ancestors and all code talkers, not just Navajo, but all nations that helped in helping our people and making sure our homelands were going to be safe. And once I started that journey, I knew that that was something that I couldn't stop because it was also my healing space, walking in our ancestors' footsteps, right? Because now we get the choice. They didn't have. Yeah, they had a choice, but they chose us. So how are we choosing our future us, right? And is it in a healthy way? And is it in a good way? Is it the right direction? How do we move forward? How do we be the example? And a lot of times our mistakes become others' lessons. And I've learned that too. So I feel like right now the rest and renew is perfect timing for this season, the winter season. I'm I'm looking forward to it. I got some great news today. When it actually comes out, I'll let you all know. So I'll just say there's some great news happening for Manuelito Health and Wellness Systems. Coming from that retreat, a lot of things doors open, and it's a really exciting time right now. In the darkest moments, you can find your most light. How would you say it? My brightest moments, right?
Mm.
And sometimes we're so caught up in the dark that we kind of don't see that light until something happens, right? And I sat there and I was like, wow, these are the things that come from hard work, all the tears, all the, oh my gosh, it didn't work, or oh, great, I messed that one up, or I missed that deadline, and so I'm coming off an injury. And that's another lesson. Be careful how you play with motorcycles, everybody. Okay. So, um, but I think that for myself, the rest and the renew was along the way, learning to know and be aware of your body and saying, hey, I need some rest.
Mm.
Sometimes we feel tired and we can push through it. But if you're struggling to push through it, just take a 2-second minute breath, a deep, and then kind of get some clarity and then move forward. But it's always that part where it's like, am I really needing this rest? Yes, you might need a rest. And it doesn't mean sleep all the time. Sometimes we just need a break and a rest from work, from the stress, from, all the, oh, it's so cute. It's like, I want to come. I want to be here too. So I don't know. It's the process and being aware of ourselves and how aware are we of what's going on in our own bodies, in our own systems, and how can we better that so we can take care of our communities. So we can, and I was thinking about, I was like, they're going to really be like, oh, listen to her. She's got a hoarse voice and she's not even taking care of herself. No, I'm kidding. But it's the talking, it's the allergies, it's all the stuff, right? And I was like, oh my goodness. But for the most part, I think that I have learned rest, and that naturally comes with a renewal. And it's also renewing our mental thoughts, renewing our space, decluttering. I've had to been doing decluttering. My kitchen is inside out right now. And do you want to know how powerful our words are? I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know who's watching this of my family, but I was like, I don't know if I really want to make dinner on the Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, whatever you want to call it, the thankful day, which should be every day.
Mm.
And I was like, and then next thing you know, they came in to take a look at some water damage and tore out half my kitchen. And I was like, guess what? I guess I'm not making any dinner tomorrow. So I was like, see how powerful these words are. And I was like, okay, well,
Mhm.
now I'm going to start speaking. Okay, my kitchen's going to be done here soon. I get to make my own food, So it really is perspective, though. Perspective of how are we going to rest? How are we going to renew? Don't get too stressed about what everybody wants your house to look like. Your lights. These, honestly, if you think about it, these things are blessings and privileges that we get to have.
Mm.
Think about
Mhm.
that. They are. I mean, it's not like, way back when our ancestors didn't have to put up lights. They didn't go out and put up tree either. Let's really think about that. But so don't be too hard on yourselves, everybody out there. Don't get too stressed. You know, um, it's really just it's blessings in all disguises, forms. Um, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to 2026, and we've got some new things. Avra, can I share?
Yeah.
Okay. So last year, April, I so thankful you had me and come on and share about Chanel Wellness, our a bid, right? So this was our original product, and that's digestive enzymes for gut health, everybody. And then there's Hash, which is the melatonin GABA complex. So they're all like natural. Okay. So that's to help you sleep. Hash. So in our native languages, our indigenous language. And then how many of you have inflammation, need to recover, and need pain free, all in a natural way, right? Well, we came out with the new one. I don't know how, I don't, okay, wait, let's see. I don't know. I'm going to have to like share with you. It's Zenipa, which is our pain reliever, anti-inflammatory, all natural, curcumin. We have curcumin, turmeric, resveratrol, and ginger in their pump form. So it just goes under the tongue, and then you wait a few seconds and take it. So anywhere from 1 to 8 pumps, then you're good to go. Everybody's different, so it depends on how your body responds to natural products. I'm super excited about that. That's happening. We're getting our own web page for just the products alone. I'm super excited. My cousin's been helping me with this and helping me keep accountable and stay on track. So it's been amazing, sister. I thank you so much for all that you do in helping me travel this journey, because you have been a huge help, and everybody that believes in me and has supported me along the way. Thank you. There are a lot of times when I'm sitting there crying or like banging my head against the wall. But I'm that stubborn. I'm not going to give up. I don't quit. Keep going, keep moving forward. That's all we can do.
Thank you, sister, for everything that you shared, from the breath, taking a breath at the beginning of your conversation to sharing where you are and where you're going. And also, your products. I use your melatonin sleep aid. I have insomnia. So that has been such a blessing for myself. And then I know everybody can check out where to get your products and through your link tree, which has been shared in the chat and also is on the screen now. So I would encourage everybody to check Dawn out. She she's so awesome and does a lot of gut work and all those things. And for her to um, take the funding that some funding that she received through a grant from Return to Heart Foundation and start running and have her own products, those are amazing. And that's I've known Dawn for a few years now, I think 4 years now. But every time we get together, it's such a great visit. It's like coming together and leaving off picking up where we left off. There's no time
Exactly.
separated. It's always a great time, auntie fun and, just laughs all around. So I want to thank you for being here. I'm so thankful that you're here. But as a final word, what would you like to share with our audience before we go on to our next guest?
Probably, again, my word for this year is foundation. You cannot build anything without a solid foundation. And that could be like a home, right? It needs a foundation to sit on. Well, our bodies, our health and wellness needs a good, solid foundation. My foundation through understanding healthy living from the inside out, gut health, that's something that, that part is where I feel like, okay, everything I've applied, now it's time to really enforce that foundation. When you're going to go into training, we help build that foundation of training. When we're in meditation or in our spiritual sense, we have that foundation of spirituality, whatever it may be for us. So that's my word for this year. We're going to move forward with that. I'm really excited because we've kicked it off with looking at some of the things this year that are going to start happening right away in the first quarter. I'm looking forward. So stay tuned with us because April, my sister here from Return to the Hearts, oh my goodness, Return to the Heart. Let me just say this. I have to say a big thank you and a shout out because April's right. They are the ones that actually granted, I was a recipient and awardee of their micro grant that actually helped start the first classes of Manual to Health and Wellness, the Healthy Living from the Inside Out classes. So I'm so, so grateful and thankful for that and that it got to help so many people. But what is your, word for this year? Foundation. That's what it is, foundation. So all of you out there, like she asked, what is your word?
Let us know, chat. Put it in our comments and we can share it. And like she said, speaking it into existence. Our words are powerful. And when we say, oh, if it's not one thing, it's another. I always say it's life. What's the next step? It is not one thing or another. But if you speak and you pray and you say positive things will come back to you. So I just want to say thank you, sister, for being here. Please feel free to stay on with us. I know we have a great individual coming on next who Jen's going to introduce right now. And you also know this great individual. You grew up with them, where we found out how to Return to Heart Foundation.
Yeah, exactly. That was the best ever, right?
Yeah. She hid in the back seat and she was like, surprise.
And they're like, what are you doing back there?
Yeah, but thank you, sister, for being here, and I appreciate you. I love you, and thank you for coming on again this year. And guys, check her out on her website on her Facebook or her link tree, and it's in the comments. So please feel free to check her out, and we'll also be doing a product reveal soon. So we'll see you soon.
Great.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Jen?
Thank you. Okay, awesome. So we're off to a good start. Here comes our next guest. April will be doing the behind the scenes, bringing this person on, but I'm going to do the intro. I definitely want to take a moment to introduce my friend, Elton Noswood. We go back to my time in LA, his time in LA too, because we're both we're old school LA UCLAers. It's been really incredible to watch his journey and the impact he's making now. I know him, like I said, from the younger days, and now he's making national impacts. He's become a true force in his field, and I'm really, really honored that he had an opportunity to come here. Thank you, Elton. Yay!
Hi everyone, Yate Keshmish.
Hi.
Hi Dawn, good to see you and hear from you again, and hopefully I'll see you soon. But thank you, Aunties, for inviting me again to be a part of this great broadcasts and great programming. Once again, I just want to say Yat Shaya Elton Noswood in Shia. Hello, my name is Elton Noswood. I am of the Navajo Nation. I'm currently in Denver, Colorado, the lands of the Cheyenne and Arapaho people. Very beautiful here. I love being next to the mountains and seeing the snow. We haven't had a lot here in the Denver area, but the mountains are just very beautiful. And if I knew how to ski, I would be up there skiing. But no, I'm one of those desert divas, so I stay in.
Let's trade, Elton.
Yes, or come visit. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. So thank you for thank you for allowing me to be here, and then just to, do some reflections of the last year, and then particularly now during the holiday season. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays. It always, reminds me of sharing childhood memories as well as adult memories with family and friends. And also it's a time just to kind of end, your annual calendar year per se, and just do some reflections for the new year. So that's kind of how I feel about this season. I am one that always decorates as well, Jen. And this year I kind of started late, but I tend to do that just in remembrance of my mother, who always loved to have a tree up, even though if sometimes we put it up the night before. But having that remembrance and just having those memories really truly does fill my heart at this time. But now that I'm getting older, I feel like this season is always for the kids, right? So someone had mentioned in the chat, let's remember the kids. So, that is just kind of one of those things that I tend to do. So this year has been really busy for me. I am the executive director, the inaugural executive director of a new national organization called the Two-Spirit and Native LGBTQ plus Center for Equity. Thank you much. We celebrated our first year having a board, having me as the executive director, and coming into the new year, we just got our tax exempt status approved by the government. So we're really excited to move this organization along. It's been kind of challenging this year, just knowing the political climate and just the direct effects it's having on our Two-Spirit Native LGBT community. So that has been really kind of challenging in a way, but it's also been motivational for me, in particularly just knowing that there's a need to protect our community, to have a voice for our community. So we've been able to do a lot of great stuff within the last year. We were able to speak and also revitalize the Two-Spirit Task Force with the National Congress of American Indians. So doing a lot of advocacy with our tribal leadership, has been really critical at this time. We also are implementing a new project, what we're just kind of calling the Two-Spirit Policy Project, with the UCLA School of Law and their tribal legal clinic, as well as the Williams Institute. And that project is going to be looking at our tribal codes and laws to see if they specifically include our community, whether terminology is Two-Spirit or LGBTQ is incorporated into these laws, because as sovereign nations, we as Two-Spirit people are citizens of our nations, and these nations should have laws that protect us if our federal government is not able to do so. So I'm very happy to announce we'll be working on that project in the near future. We also participated in World Pride this year, which happened in Washington, D.C. in June. It was a little tense, knowing just the political climate. We were 2 blocks away from the White House. There was a lot of security, but we still had a presence. We led the parade. We had a congressional briefing with our Senate and congressional offices. So, with that said, I think these projects kind of give me a word that's going to continuously be a part of the values that I hold and share, is the word resilience. As Native peoples, we have seen such policies affect us, but yet we are still able to move forward. We're still able to exist. And I feel sometimes Creator does these things to us in a way that it makes us try to understand, the gaps of understanding that communal support that we have, right? Or those traditional understandings that we have, right? So issues such as the binary, that the government is trying to place on our people, we never had the binary. We always had a plethora of different types of genders. So reflecting on that, I think, is really kind of important. And, I think we will get through these sad times, but it'll also strengthen us in a way that we have felt historically, right? So resilience is my word. Even personally, I kind of use that thought of resilience in a way that, strengthens me as well. When you're a new leader in such a position for a large, for an organization that's evolving, you go through these things of lateral oppression from your community. And I've kind of felt that recently. And it wasn't until I kind of expressed it to others that they changed that terminology around and said a word to me that's really stuck as well, which is lateral kindness. And to me, that I shouldn't say makes more sense, but it gives me the ability to know that there is that opposite of that, right? And so lateral kindness is something I'm holding dear to my heart in this next year, whether, dealing with such challenges, personal challenges that I have been feeling as well. So that's where I'm at. I'm just very happy to be here. Things are moving forward. We are, we're a small, evolving organization, but very mighty in our presence, and that the work we're going to continue to do, and also sharing this shared responsibility with others, I think, is also important. So I've been, collaborating with like aunties like you, who have strengthened me and been a part of my life, right, and have accepted me for who I am. So I just want to say thank you to all of you as friends, as aunties, and as good relatives, right? And then I just recently shared on social media a video that was done by the National PFLAG organization. It was very humbling in a way because it gave me a reflection of my life experiences, but also told the story of how I got to where I am today, right? And it was very personal, but it was also very enlightening as well to know of the work that I've done in the past for my community. So Avriel, thank you for sharing that in the chat. If people have about 10 minutes and want to view that video, hopefully it would inspire you as well. So just wanted to share that fairly briefly in this show that you're having, in the program that you're having. We will be able to accept donations, I would say, in the beginning of next year. We are relaunching our website, which is twospiritcenter.org. And on that page, once we get that established, we'll be able to take, donations. And we're really looking forward to be able to do that now that we do have the tax exempt status. Even that process was a little bit of a challenge, just knowing the political climate, and that the name of our organization had these trigger words in them. So we were a little scared and hesitant, if you will, just knowing what was happening, but we're very happy that we got approved and we're moving forward. Again, that resilience, right? So just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this conversation, for your continued support. And I wish everyone a very happy holidays in the way, you want to experience that, whether with family, friends, or just rest, right? Or just looking at the beautiful snow in the mountains, like I'll be doing. Other than that, thank you very much. And everyone, much blessings to you. Yeah.
Yeah, Elton.
Thank you, Elton. I love it. And you never know, as a desert Indian, also, who knew that I would be like out on a boat and stand up paddleboarding, not surfing yet, but you never know. You might be skiing. You might be skiing, Elton, even though you're a desert native. That's great.
Desert diva.
Desert diva. Yeah, desert diva.
I want to say that Elton, I remember you did a lot of great things in LA, from AIDS Project LA, APLA, doing Red Circle Project in LA, helped so many individuals. And I know you're going to go far and do great things. You already are with your new org. Somebody was asking in the chat what the email is again, and I mean what the website is. So we wanted to make sure that we bring it up and let them check it out. Please check out his video. It gave me a lot more insight to you as an individual. I've known you for I don't know how many years, but just hearing about your brother and your own journey, it really does take somebody that's open enough to be transparent with others to make them feel okay to share their story as well. So I want to say Pilamaye, gracias a ti. Thank you for sharing that. It really was an open insight to you as an individual, and your journey. So you're going to do great things. I'm just so thankful again that you all are able to be here. And Indian country is so big yet so small, and that just being able to connect you and Dawn, and even while we were there, having dinner, somebody asked about our sister Haley, and we were like, we were just with her.
Sorry, you don't mean to interrupt. She was just in Santa Fe with me. We co-facilitated there. So it was so much fun.
Yeah, and it is just so big and so small. But once, you have this realm of individuals, you guys are doing such big things. And I'm just honored that you can take some time out of your busy schedules to visit with us and to share what you guys are all doing and what you've done in 2025 and going into 2026. So we definitely would love to have you back and share, you know, whatever it is that you want to share with us whenever you want to. So please feel free, both of you all and all of the individuals here, know that there's an open invitation here for you.
Thank you.
Not only here virtually, but Elton, you were here and you're welcome here at my home too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you all for being here. And the next guest that we have coming up is an amazing guest in LA, in the Tongva territory. She does great things. She's always been such a support to me, being able to open and listen to what it is that I have going on. And we were able to do good things in LA. And I just want to introduce another sister, another auntie to come onto the stage. And that is Gina. Boo, boo, boo. I'll have her introduce herself as she unmutes herself.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay! Hi.
My name is Virginia Sanchez. I go by Gina. Most people know me by Gina. I'm Tongva Kumiai, and I just thank you all for inviting me to this space. And
welcome to my page.
And thank you for for all the great words that you were saying. Just because I was able to, as I've also reflected, how my year has gone. It's nice because initially for 2025, my year and my word, that I often tried to reflect on was accountability and responsibility. And I realized that as I did that, I would take on quite a bit. And so I've been thinking and trying to decide, okay, what's going to come of, 2026. And I recently have decided it needs to be patience. And everybody has always said, Gina, you're such a patient person. I'm like, yes, but I'm not always patient with myself. And so, I love that you shared where you're at, Jen, because as I looked over, I have my tree up, but it's just the tree. you know, and no ornaments, and that's as far as we got. And you know, it's been a struggle recently. And so even, you know, there was a powwow, local powwow, and you know, I drove over and I really struggled getting off the car, and I was just like,
Mhm.
no, you know what, I'm gonna go home. You know, this evening I can just go home. And you know, I've been home all day. And so it was just giving myself that space, you know, because sometimes we do need to restore, we do need to reflect, we do need to rest. um, so this way that we can come back and pour into our community, because you know that saying, we can't pour from an empty cup. And so you know, it has given me the opportunity to have even grace with myself,
Mhm.
and with others. And I don't want to confuse it with you know, with how should I say, um, not seeing, right, like not seeing certain things, or not seeing like certain behaviors or patterns and such. So I think just, you know, just understanding, like, you know, that we are, you know, we do have those intentions to grow and to move forward. And so with that, you know, it's that accountability, responsibility within ourselves, but also allowing the grace and the patience with ourselves. So you know, I want to thank you all for bringing up those you know, just a simple question can go on and on and on, because so many people can relate. And why don't we speak about it more?
Mhm.
um, you know, and I think one of the things that was nice was that the following day, I did see a couple of community members, and they were like, "Hey, were you okay? I didn't see you yesterday." And I was like, "You know what? I'm okay now." And I
Mm.
explained to them what happened, and they were like, "That's fine. Like, we all need to do that." And so it's like, why are we not talking about it more?
Yeah, exactly.
So you know, I think it's just something that we really got to do, and just really take care of ourselves, take care of each other, and be there for each other, just because that's it's one of those times right now, you know, where we're often saying, like, you know, we need to, like, just really you know, check and make sure if that we're all visible in every aspect, because we're often left out. And so you know, yeah, I'm just filled with gratitude right now, you know, for the time to share. And I think, you know, some of the things that, you know, when I realized that I can have the patience, you know, and restore myself, um, I think it helps me to have a different presence with other
Mhm.
people. And you know, when we think about, you know, how as Indigenous women, you know, Indigenous people from our community, working for our community, doing the hard work, um, sometimes we have to show up in full force, like just ready to be like, okay, you know. And so, you know, and then turn around and just be totally gentle with the next person. And so you know, even like as a social worker, like the advocacy piece, you know, and the mental health piece, and they can look very different in so many different ways. um, but it's using your voice, right, um, and having everything, like all the different tactics ready. So yeah, just filled with gratitude right now, and thank you all for, you know, for the work that you do too.
Thank you, Gina. I really, really love that you were able to recognize that you just needed to like not do that. And I love that. I'm gonna think of that often. I know that in this season of my life, I've really been doing similar as not driving to go, but just being like, I can't do that, you know. Even if it's something that I really want to do, like I'm looking forward to it. But Hawaii is similar to LA in that there's communities all over the place, and we live on the east side, which is about 45 to 30 minutes away from Honolulu, and a lot of activities happen there. So to drive there, I mean, we're totally used to it because of LA. We don't mind the traffic, but during this time, I do mind it. Like it's a lot. It means I have to get up, take a shower, put on clothes, which is a normal thing, but like when you're already going through a lot, it's a lot. And then, you know, get ready, pack whatever you need to go to the place, go through traffic, get to the place, put on a happy face for everybody, especially if you're in a position of leadership, and organize and do, it is a lot. And I realized, by what you're saying, it's totally okay. And we're the ones who are putting that. You said you talked to community members. They're like, yeah, totally fine. But we're the ones who put that pressure. So I really am so glad that you share that example. Thank you, because it's going to be in my mind for the rest of the year. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I also know that, yes, thank you. I also know that it takes a lot of energy to be in community. I mean, not just going as a regular individual, but like Jen says, you see people, they want to talk, they want to hug, they want to visit, and that's fair. But after you leave, you're like, for me, I'm like, why am I so tired? And after, one or two, and being able to, I love to be able to do things for my community. I love to uplift anybody. I love to support, but then when I leave, it's like that big energy battery is drained, and it does take a lot. And having to show up with a drained battery is not something that anybody wants to see, So I'm thankful and I'm grateful that you had that sense to like I'm not going to go, because, that's more help for yourself, more rest for you. So thank you for sharing that. I do also want to ask, what is it that you you say you're in community? Please tell us what it is that we can look forward to, or how people can get in contact with you.
Sure. So I'm currently the project director, the Circles of Care project director at Sacred Path Indigenous Wellness Center. Our website is sacredpath.org. So we're currently servicing Orange and Los Angeles counties, and we're pretty excited because we recently, November 1st, we had our first powwow in Los Angeles. And then on February 21st, we're going to be having our first community powwow in Orange County. So we're really looking forward to that. But we're just, my specific goal in the agency is to, kind of shake things up within the county and just make sure that there are eventually services for our community in Orange County, just because at this point, there pretty much none, other than what we provide in terms of like mental health services and culturally responsive, workshops, and just getting the community together in a space. And so, we're really enjoying, being able to have that community space in Orange County and now in Long Beach as well.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, because I've, working in LA, working where we worked together before, there was always, and you being from Orange County, I always heard it, not only from you, not from your family, but like the drive to where our office used to be, was a long time, a long ways. And people always said, I wish there was Orange County stuff, and now you guys are doing that. And I really, really, am in awe of all the great work that you do. I know that there's like daycare now and homelessness help in the Los Angeles and Orange County area, and you and your team are doing amazing. And I know we've done it before, but it has to be done in a new area, and for you guys to be visible. And I really appreciate all the hard work that you do. And like, it can be overwhelming, but some people don't recognize, like, they could just come to an event and then leave and they get the most out of it, but it takes a lot to get that done. And I did see on socials, what a great turnout your first powwow was. And I'm looking forward to seeing what February's has coming, because what a great way to start introducing those resources that should have been introduced a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting because, unfortunately, it started off with just merely educating the county that we still existed. So it's, moved since then, but hopefully it'll, we'll be at a quicker pace sooner than later. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share to our audience, or anything that you'd like to say, a final word? as we come to a close, I'm just thankful that you're here and, able to speak to what we've talked about: renewal, rejuvenation, relaxation, all of those things in 2020, coming towards this winter solstice.
Yeah. No, I think I would just like to say awish koneha, because I've heard you say thank you in so many different languages, and I'm really trying hard to learn my language, and so that's one of the words I've learned a while back ago, and so I've been trying to say it a little bit more. So awish koneha, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Awish koneha. I have to add that to my vocabulary. But I also want to tell the world that's watching is, I always say when I'm done speaking, the end. And Gina is actually the one that I got it from. And I asked her for permission if I could use that. And I use it all the time when I'm done in my trainings. I'm like, I say the end because people will keep staring at me if I don't say that, wanting more. And Gina, that's where I heard it from. And I was like, oh my God, that's so great. Can I use it? So I don't know if people know that, but thank you, Gina. Just
I use it too. I use it all the time. I didn't know that. All the time. I'm on a lot of Zooms, and if I have to do a presentation, I'm like, and the end. Sometimes I add, I'm available for questions or comments, like it's my own little presser, my own little press conference. But I love that. Oh my God. I say it all the time. The end.
Let me give you a little history about that. So as I've mentioned before, like I have the gift of gab. I can talk and talk and talk and talk. So there was a time when I would just like say something really quick to my husband, and he's like sitting there waiting, and he was like, and I go, what? And he goes, I'm waiting for the rest. I go, no, that was it. He goes, from now on, if it's just really quick, he goes, just say the end. And so, okay, so I would, tell my story like the end. so he knows when he can just go ahead and be excused or go. That's where the end came from.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who knew? I had no idea. April and I also have our own inside version of the end when we're telling stories, and we may say the end, or one of the things that April says is la la la, and sometimes I just say la la. That means the end. So like I tell a long story, I'm like, and la la. No. We're weird.
La la la.
Yeah, la la.
Yeah.
I love it.
And the end. Nice.
Well, audience, we're coming to the end. I want to thank everybody for being here. Gina, thank you for being here. Please tell everybody at the office that I said hello. Say, I know a lot of the people that Gina works with, and helped me become who the person I am too as well. So please tell them hello, happy holidays, and wish. Oh, how do you say it? Awish koneha.
Awish koneha.
Awish koneha. Awish koneha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna have to put that in my video so I can keep awish koneha.
Yes.
Tell them awish koneha for me, and I'm just thankful for you as a friend, as a great individual, and just a good relative. Thank you for doing what you do, and continue to keep doing those great things. Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna end. Jen, you have any final?
I just want to say
words?
Sapo. That's how we say it, Tonoatam, Sapo. So thank you. And also tell people that I know. I looked on your website really quick. I know Anthony's there, Dr. Johnson, yourself. That was a really quick scan, but if I know anybody, or you wouldn't know who I know, but you kind of do. But and you've always been so patient. Like I always think of you as a very calm, patient energy. So I just wanted to let you know that, because it is important for us to be patient with others, but to also be patient with ourselves. So you've really brought some insights to this conversation today. Thank you. As for me, no, I don't have anything else. It's been a really good year, a very busy year. I'm ready to go into hibernation. And that is my plan, and I don't feel guilty about it. I need to do that because you can't pour from an empty cup, as it was said. So I need to fill my cup up with watching lots of Christmas movies, eating lots of goodies, and just kicking back. So that's what my plan.
Nice.
Well, that's a great plan. And again, thank you all for watching. We will see you again in January. Have a happy holidays, and we will see you soon. Thanks, guys, for being here.